North Commanders. So this is the map of Rome. This is my first time ever playing this thing. So basically what happens is you are given a slot. There are different slots on the map and there is a safe zone like this shielded place, right? You can see this shield and line that is dotted. This is a safe zone of an alliance, and if your base is inside it, the enemy can't enter that area in the beginning, I believe. So we had a very rough start to Rome. We built this and then we didn't know what to do. We didn't have any senior players from other kingdoms that guided us. The leadership was clueless as well, mostly for the most part. We were confused where to go, who to fight, where to go. In the start we went up to take town and we successfully took the land around it, and we expanded around like the north area. This alliance were on top of us, north of us, so we started having fights with them, but we were very inexperienced. Most of our players are. We got overconfident. We had more number of players than them, almost twice in numbers, but we lacked the experience. They had few high level players, but they were really experienced and probably from older kingdoms, so they knew the warfare like way better than us. And we lost so much against them that we kept losing reserves. We were all running out of reserves, and some of us weren't even fighting. They were clueless what to do on this map or what a strategy is. There was no proper planning or strategy in the beginning.
You told me this would be rock and roll. Is the world after the war going to be so exciting?
We lacked proper planning, like leadership. I'm not trying to criticize them, but like we didn't know which players of ours or how many players of ours can be online at which time zone mostly. So we didn't plan things out. We were just like going to attack them or like defense at some players within an hour's notice or 2 hours notice, and most players weren't even online at the time. So when they came online, they didn't have a clue what's going on, and they were just 4 or 5 players that were online at the time, and they were fighting and they lost all their reserves. And when the others came online, they went and they lost all their reserves. So there was no like proper organization, proper strategy and plan. Like players should be notified like 10 to 12 hours in advance, because different players might be sleeping at different time, so they should know the objectives and prepare for them, save reserves and everything in time before they like make advance to some side. So what happens is the Varun got allied with the alliance in the south of us, that was Ratu, and Radu were even more stronger than Varun in terms of numbers, especially size. They both squeezed and boxed us in this safe zone of ours, and we couldn't even step out, neither on the north side nor on the south side, and it was very rough peak for us. We couldn't take town. They took the town away from us. I couldn't get out to take this rig. Even though they had their own rig, they still came for this one and denied us entry. And they took Varun took the fort and they got the entry inside. Now what happened when they took the fort was they did a blunder there. When they were allied, we got allied with the alliance AUX and VVV, because they were fighting against them, and WSS as well. So we had 3 more allies now. Now the best part was done by AUX. The moment they took the forts opened. They didn't. Now Varun did a mistake. They took the fort and they stopped. They thought the job was done, and they didn't push inside fast enough. We were kept inside the safe zone. We moved our like command trucks safely inside the inner area of the fort, and we started defending them from moving ahead inside. And quickly an AUX base also came here, and they prevented them from like moving inside quicker. So that worked out really well, and weren't able to like make any grounds inside after taking the fort, and they were just stuck there, and they didn't even push that hard, for that matter, because the AOX player, one or two players that came to block them were really strong. So they didn't try as hard as they should have, and they just gave up like we will try later. But the later part got even harder because then we kept expanding outside our like safe zone, and by the time obviously we got better, we learned things, so our alliance coordination also became better. The groups, running of army groups also became a little better, and now our situation is like way better. Now we have taken the fort and we are making stride inside, and we have also expanded and curtailed them to their safe zone, and now we are also trying to like get out of our south and get raw 2 off our backs. If they are watching this video, I hope they are not, but just saying. But it's a good map. Like, I know people criticize Rome. Yes, it might have drawbacks. I haven't played any other like maps and everything, but C4. This is my first C4 ever in this game, so I don't know. People say Moscow or other maps are better, so we'll play them and I'll make videos on those. But yeah, you can get boxed in, and if you don't have allies, you are basically doomed in this map. You can't do anything. So Raw 2 were like here to Arms Factory, and VVV pushed them back into their safe zone, like into their own inside the fort area. So our allies have really managed to push back and take control of the blockhouses from all sides and almost all the command rigs and everything. So we are in a very dominant position because of our allies now. And DV got allied to like Raw 2 and Varum, and they are struggling now because they are squeezed between our allies basically. So this is what is happening. Like, we had a very rough start because we had both enemies on south and north that were allied. So now all of them are facing the same situation. Like for Voron, they are like, we have AOX and HT, and they are squeezed in the middle. Same goes for like Raw 2. They have VVV on one side and us on the other side, so they are kind of like squeezed in by two allies. So having allies is super important in a map like Rome. This is what I've realized so far. The rest is just planning better. Like there will be bases that are stronger than you. Obviously you can't do much about that. You just have to be very efficient in running the groups, army groups. You need to have an artillery group, you need to have a light and a medium groups, and a super heavy or infantry groups. Take down bases, you need more players online to make it efficiently work against strong bases. This is what you got to do, and you have to plan your reserves and everything. When you are not online, get back or airlift back into your safe zone, because you don't want to lose your reserves. Because for a week at least, none of our clan had more than 2 platoons or like 2 barracks available, and our reserves were like 400, 300, that's it, and they're very expensive to buy. So you have to plan your things. Don't over engage, and engage at your own like advantageous position and time. When most of the enemy are offline and most of your own players are online, we had greater number of players, but we had very less coordination. That's why we were struggling. Even now, not many of us are like fighting, but still we have gotten better at coordinating and organizing a little. We'll understand which units to use, which units to deploy, how to like do some fighting or make kills without losing our own reserves. I have like 6,000 now finally, and this is the max I can get given the building level and research I have. You need to upgrade your like reserves barracks. It's very important. Mine is only 26. I have taken my base 29. I am trying to take my base to 30 if I can like get more materials and resources. Of course, I'm trying to gather as much resources as I can. The reason I'm trying to get to 30 is because the watchtower of 30 is much better and the wall is much better, so it gives bonus in defending your base. My units are pretty like trash, I would say, because I made a mess. As a beginner, I didn't know which units to use, how to upgrade them. Like, my units are a complete mess, so I just kept randomly making every kind of unit like 6.1. I have almost everything 6.1, which is no good. You have to like focus on a specific unit and stick by that. Like, if you want a light tank, you have to click that first, and I didn't know that. I just kept clicking anything that was like showing first, and it kept making units that it didn't need actually. So, and I didn't even know which camps are good, which units are good. I finally know now, but it took me a while to get hang around things for like for a month. I didn't fully understand it. So basically, this is the ROM update so far. This is our first time. I think this is silver 2 or like the lowest category, probably that one. And it was hard, guys, but it's fun. Like, I like it. At least we have war. It's a proper like war game. In most war games, we are just like staying in shields that I have played and not engaging in wars. So it was fun. So I won't say I like didn't have any fun. How is your roam going? Which maps are you in? Which alliances are you fighting against? And if you're a senior player that are watching this video, what are some of the tips or guidance do you have for people like us that are playing for the first time? Like, what should we do in this map? Because I'll guess we'll be playing this roam thing again and again, maybe in the future as well, with different alliances, maybe much stronger than us. So obviously, in the comment section, please do let me know which maps you are in, how was your home experience, what changes do you want to see in this map, and what are your recommendations of units to use or like strategy to use, what should be our goals and objectives in the beginning. So we are learning a lot. Obviously, it was our first time, but I'm looking forward to enjoying this map even further in the future. I hope you all have a good time. Thank you so much for watching.